What's up, YouTube? How y'all doing today? Hope y'all are doing fantastic. Today we're back with another National Preparedness Month video. Today is day 12, and today we're talking about people. People just in general. National Preparedness Month, and for like, especially like in an SHTF and any particular thing, a team is way better. Having people, you got to have your people. Teams are better than the lone wolf by far, and I'm going to explain a little bit of that to you. So, a team is a group of people who work together to achieve a common goal, whatever that goal is, whether it's your job, whether it's your family, whether it's your SHTF survival team, because you can kind of break things down a little bit better into chores, because you can't do everything. Depending on the nature of SHTF, obviously, you can't do everything. You can't do it all yourself. You've got to have people on your side. Lone wolf is just a person that thinks he needs to be alone, and alone is, you can't do everything by yourself. Even if it was like straight up, you're bugging out, you're leaving, you may think, well, they're just going to hold me back. Well, actually, they're not. If you've got a good team and a good plan, they're not going to hold you back. I mean, the advantages of having a team, like I said, you've got people that can do, whatever you're not good at, you can have somebody do that for you. If you're not good at commo, or comms, or however they pronounce it, but if you're not good at that, how are you going to, well, I mean, I guess if you're lone wolf, you don't need a commo, but how can you post security and take a nap at the same time? How can you hunt food and have to watch your back at the same time? Because food, people, I don't really agree with the fact that there's going to be a lot of hunting, fishing, scavenging, foraging, and all that in like a serious grid down SHTF scenario. There's not going to be, and even if there was, everybody else is going to have that same thought too. Everybody's going to have the same thought. So you need people. You need, for one, we've gone through some of the others, the food, for that reason. You're not going to be hunting. You're not going to be scavenging. You're not going to be, you've got to, there's people in your team, in your mag, your crew, your tribe, whatever it is you call yourself, that's going to need to, everybody has their own level of expertise. You can't do everything. You just physically can't do everything. You got to have people on your side to help you out. And the other thing is people, as far as the people that are not in your team. We went over situational awareness. We went over area study. So the people that aren't in your team, you've done your area study. You've got your situational awareness. You know what's going on around you. You know who's the good guys, who's the bad guys. Who's the people, not necessarily bad, but the people that are, kind of sketchy, but not like necessarily the bad guys. But at what point do they become bad guys? If they're not on your team and you're more prepared than they are, and they somehow find that out and they get hungry. People do some dumb stuff when they're hungry. They go and like I said, they just, if they know you've got supplies, they may try to think that your supplies should be their supplies. And then they're going to try and, they might try to do it nice at first. You might give them a few things because you're a nice guy or nice gal or whatever, and you want to help them out. Oh, they're neighbors, they're good people. But at what point do you either let them into your crew altogether and let them be part of you, or do you cut them off and say no? And how at what point do they start turning into a bad guy and start, well, you're not giving me any more food, I'm going to have to come and just take it from you, and just, and then they all of a sudden become a bad guy. So it's, people are important. You've got to be able to read people, to know people, to, you've got to have people on your side. You can't just do it all by yourself. You can't carry everything with you as your one person. You can't hold down your fort by yourself. You can't go hunting by yourself. You can't do it by yourself. You got to have people. You've got to know your people, and you've got to know the people around you, and the people around you have to know you, and you've got to have good people. There's good people out there. There's bad people out there, but there's also good people. And you've got to just know when the people around you are, you've got to be able to know when they're going to potentially turn on you. Your crew, if you've vetted your team right, you won't have to worry about that with your team, because they're all fighting the same battles. They're all in there for the same cause. They've all, same goals, So anyway, have a team, have people. People are very important. People are important either for the good side or the bad side. You've got to know your people. You've got to know the people around you. You've got to know your enemy. You've got to know who the enemy is. You've got to know he's good now, but he could be an enemy soon, because he's not prepared. He hasn't been, he's my next door neighbor, and I love the guy or whatever, but he's unprepared. At what point do you either let him in or not, and risk him trying to do something stupid? Anyway, people, trying to make these videos short. This is a really short one. People, your team, your tribe, your mag, like I said, you've got people are experts at things that you're not. If there's something you don't know, you're going to need help with it. You're not going to survive very long on your own. No matter what people say, no matter how bad you think you are, you're not going to make it on your own. You've got to have people. You've got to have at least some. At least have a few. You don't necessarily have to have a big, huge army, but at least a few people that you can have each other's back, sustain each other, keep each other fed, keep each other secure. You've got to have at least some people, because while you're sleeping, they could be on watch. While they're sleeping, you can be on watch, or whatever, or while you're hiking, that he can help you cook the food, or whatever. You can't do everything. You're gonna die too quick if you try to do everything. Guarantee you. Anyway, that's the video. Appreciate you. Do the YouTube stuff if you feel like it. Links are down below for whatever. If you feel like it. If not, hey, appreciate you being here anyway. Anyway, National Preparedness Month, day 12. Appreciate y'all. Love you. See you in the next one.